developing here will eventually just kind of merge together and hit this area, and it may strengthen even a little bit. There could be a pretty big swath of 60 to 80 mile per hour winds in the southern part of our area. Now let's go farther north, and I want to track the storms here. Again, it's 10 o'clock right now. We would normally be in News 18 at 10, but since we've got tornado warnings and the storms coming through, we're continuing with the coverage, not only on television, but we're also on our live stream, and I'm on Facebook Live right now. So there's the line. Here's the curlicue. Doesn't look as organized as it did a little earlier, but it's still got rotation with it. We'll put a storm track on that as well. For winds of 60 to 80 and the potential of a tornado or two mixed up in this. Racing eastward at 60 miles an hour. And there we go. You can see Logansport. It's going to be there in 9 minutes. Deer Creek, we've got 19 minutes. Again, these storms are flying. Peru, 26 minutes. Bunker Hill, 34. And then finally, in our far eastern areas, say like Amboy, it's going to be about 45 minutes. So this gives you a good map for the times of arrival. Now what I want to do is take an x-ray of the storms. We got to go back in. The radar data has updated. And let's see where the highest winds are and where the rotation is located. Again, the tornado warnings continue for southeast Jasper, Pulaski, southern Pulaski, and White counties right now. And in this curlicue, we've got areas of rotation within the storm. We really have two areas of rotation in the storm. One has been up here. This goes all the way back to Hoopeston, Illinois. Then there's been another area rotation that we had come up through Oxford that's been down here. So you can almost see it. There is kind of an S-shaped appendage here. So we've got rotation here, and we've got another little pocket down here. So that is passing right over Monticello, and this is the one that's going to pass very close to Monon. Again, we'll put the velocity product on air to kind of show us where the rotation is located. And right where the bright blues and the bright greens, they link up, right where they hook, right here, see where the bright blues and bright greens, they kind of pulse up and they're right together. That's the area that may have the rotation, and that's the area that had the darkest red. And then right here near Monticello, right in this zone right here, that's the pocket that may have the rotation as well. So those two areas are the two areas that we're tracking, and those are headed. Again, the first one is headed right into Monticello. Second one will head for the Monon area. And again, if you live in Burnettsville, Headley, Monon, Monticello, Lake Freeman area, all areas northeast of Monticello, again, you don't want to be in a mobile home. You want to be in a strong structure, in a safe place, lowest floor of your home, preferably a basement, and you want to cover that head. Because remember, yeah, if it's a tornado, maybe it's an EF2, maybe it's an EF1. I've seen EF2s, strong EF2s, look like these tiny little notches on radar. So it's unlikely that this is this is not an EF4, it's not a high-end EF3, but if we've got a tornado here, whether it's an EF1 or EF2, that's dangerous. It can roll a mobile home. It can do damage, a lot of damage, and be deadly. So you want to take this very, very seriously in White County right now as those storms race to the northeast. It looks like, indeed, we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning, all of Warren, all of Fountain counties. We'll get to that here in just a sec. Tippecanoe County, there's that sliver of a severe thunderstorm warning, and you can see the sliver of a severe thunderstorm warning in Carroll County as well. These are just some pretty intense winds. So the rotation's here and up here, and you just have a lot of wind mixed up in this anyway. Some areas 60 to 80 miles an hour, and some of that wind extends into northern Tippecanoe County as well, and that wind is extending into Delphi right as we speak. So that's why the Weather Service has the warning out for the Delphi area and also Deer Creek, Flora, and Camden right now for winds potentially 60 to 80. Let's go west because this is a wind maker right here. This is a wall of wind, and we've got some cores of high wind mixed in this. The tornado threat is not zero here. We have the risk of a random tornado or two. We got to watch that very closely. But these bright areas of green are damaging straight line winds, especially where you see these little bulges. See, there's a bulge there, there's one right here, and there's one right here. So I want to focus on those pockets where the winds are really surging forward to kind of pinpoint the highest gusts. So again, Pine Village is up here. This is in the Stewart, Tabb, and Pence areas. There's a intense lobe of wind right here. This is going to pass very close to Pine Village. You've already had winds pretty intense nearby tonight, and that rotation signature, possible brief tornado near Oxford. Now you've got more wind coming in from the west. So these are all moving this way, headed for Williamsport and Attica, and areas like Carbondale right there where 52 and 41 come together. They're headed for that area, Rainsville, West Lebanon, the Hedrick area, and right around Pence. These two cores of winds, easily 60 to 80 miles an hour, are approaching. And we've got the wind down here too. The bright greens, the white color, those are high winds, all racing eastward right as we speak, headed for Covington and headed for Attica as well. So again, this is going to be a wall of wind that completely moves through this entire zone over the next 1 to 1.5 hours, and it shows up very well. We can see the wind damage reports, and you can see the tornado reports. That's the storm that went through Benton County, and we've had one hail report I can see on the screen right now. You know, we get a lot of severe weather reports. Some of them I try to send to the Weather Service, but I can't do that while I'm on air. We try to send weather reports, so not all the weather reports I'm saying are getting posted here, because I have to send it to the Weather Service and then they have to post it, and it pops up on this map. So we did have the wind gust to 66 right here, but I haven't reported it, so that's not going to post up. But it does look like we've got a hail report here near Pine Village, 1-inch diameter hail at Rainsville, and that would have been at 9:36. So that's been a little while ago. A lot of times I like to, as soon as I get the reports, I say them, because when they post like that, they're kind of delayed. I mean, this report occurred about a half an hour ago, and it's just popping up right now. So 1-inch diameter hail half an hour ago at Rainsville in Warren County. So we're talking about wind. We've talked about the tornado warnings and whatnot tonight, but you have to remember that it's in these dark red and pinkish cores, you can have some hail as well, just mixed in the wind and mixed in the rain. So it is 10:08 right now. We've got a lot of warnings, and we have, what are we looking at here? We've got a line of rain and some thunder here. We've got a line of severe storms here, and we've got another line of storms down here. Very active radar right now. Severe thunderstorm warning for Miami County. It's Cass County. Now, Jasper County, they've put out the warning for this little line right here. Central northern Jasper, northern Newton County. Severe thunderstorm warning, northern Tippecanoe. Warren, Fountain counties under severe thunderstorm warnings, northern Carroll County, and eventually we're going to have a big warning issued for Clinton, Montgomery, and the rest of Tippecanoe as these storms gel and race eastward. Also, we still have the tornado warning for White County and Pulaski County from these two areas of persistent rotation. It's not as organized as it was a little earlier, but I don't even have to show you the velocity, and you can tell where they are. One little curlicue's up here, very close to Monon. Again, that's why there's a warning issued for Pulaski, northern White. And then central White, we've had one pretty much move right over the Monticello area that's right here. And both are moving east-northeastward. This one will pass very close to Lake Secot, west of Logansport, and eventually be just east of Royal Center. And then this one here should pass right over the Winnemac area and eventually south of Monterey in the next about 10 to 20 minutes right now. Whether you're in a severe thunderstorm warning or you're in a tornado warning, the MO here are gusts 60 to 80. if you're in the tornado warning, I showed you the areas that are rotating. Those are the areas that may have brief tornado. So I'm going to leave this on the screen. I want to go ahead and look at some of these other wind gusts that we've had in the area. I'm going to update my screen here. Again, if you're just joining us, maybe you've been with us throughout the evening as we've been doing this, but the severe weather outbreak continues. It heated up enough today, warmed up enough that with the shear and the strong rising motion of this storm system, we're getting quite the outbreak. It's been a while, pardon me, since we've had an outbreak like this, really since last summer. Winds are sustained at 42 at Delphi right now. Let's see if we've got Benton County Weather Station is still gone. Northwest of Monticello, I'll go to one of our spotters weather stations there. It looks like the peak gust was 63. So 63 mile per hour wind gust. Northwest of Monticello, about 4 miles northwest of Monticello. We had the 66 mile per hour wind gust that was just south of Earl Park a little earlier. Again, right now from what I'm seeing, I'm looking for any other like damage that we've got in the area. And at least right now, thankfully, I'm not seeing big damage reports yet. I mean, we can see we've had some intense gusts, but I'm looking at the Chicago National Weather Service and we're okay there. And again, when I'm on air like this, I'm looking at these reports live and raw. So I need to read through them, and I've got the radar there right behind me. Okay. And then we'll go to northern Indiana. Again, it's night, so a lot of these reports you're not going to get until tomorrow if we do have damage. Okay. Okay. So right now, again, there could be damage out there. We don't know. It's night. We've got so much rain and so much storm action out there. We're not going to know for a while. It'll be tomorrow till we know if we've got some structural damage in places, what kind of damage. We've got in Benton County and White County, maybe southern Jasper, and other areas just plain old straight line wind damage as well. Let's go back here to the tracking. Okay, so the tornado warning for southeast Jasper is over. It's now just southern Pulaski, central and southern White. But I can tell you that if you're in Chalmers right now, or Brookston, you're in the clear. It is areas in eastern White and southern Pulaski that have the threat. So it would be right near Monon and just east of Monticello. And what I'll do is we'll go back to our velocity. We'll kind of dissect these storms once again. I'll pull that velocity product up to pinpoint the best rotation in that storm. Right there it is. Looks like we've got some wind damage in the Monticello area. And we'll pop that on the screen. We've got a large tree down in Reynolds, west of Monticello, that is. So we've got some wind damage. Again, these reports will be trickling in. If it were during the day, it'd be easier to see them. But at night, it's going to take some time for all this to trickle in. So it tend to be, the rotation, again, we're using the northern Indiana radar, so the colors look a little different, but the two areas of rotation are likely right here, this bright spot near Monon, and then likely down here east of Monticello, these two pockets. So that one will pass very close to areas just south of Winnemac. Just south of Winnemac, and then towards Kiwanis here in Fulton County. And this part that's rotating, it will be near Lake Secret. Should stay away from Royal Center, but this one will be very close to Royal Center as it tracks to the east northeast. So those two, we'll wait and see if we have a tornado warning issued for Fulton and northern Cass. But those two pockets right there, that one and then this one down here, those are the two areas that may put out a tornado here, are moving towards Fulton County, southeast Pulaski, and northern Cass right now. It looks like they just canceled that part of the warning for White. We'll wait and see if it's reissued for Cass. And then this part we'll wait and see if it's reissued for Fulton County. Those two areas rotating. And those two areas rotating, they are wrapped in a lot of wind, 60 to 80 mile per hour winds. Now if we look to the south, these are all 60 to 80 mile per hour winds racing eastward. They're coming into Logansport right now, Deer Creek, that's why you're under the severe thunderstorm warning. The high winds southwest of Rochester, they're all moving this way. So your rotation is here amidst the wind, and then the wind extends down here into Carroll County where we've got that severe thunderstorm warning. Again, random bits of dime hail, perhaps quarter-sized hail, cannot be ruled out, mixed up in any of these storms. We've seen that through the night. Even if it's not a really conspicuous hail core, that's been what we've been seeing on radar tonight. These dark red areas, they will pop out some random dime or quarter hail. Just like we saw in the storm that was near Rainsville in Warren County. And I would suspect we have other storms that are putting out some of this hail. This may have a little small hail in it up here in northern Carroll County, but these storms down here may have hail and certainly a lot of wind. Everything seems to be congealing together. You got this line of storms here, then you have this line, and everything is kind of merging together to form one main line with very heavy rain, a lot of lightning. And again, we still have the wind threat as well. We still have the severe thunderstorm warnings for Warren and down into Fountain County. The rest of Tippecanoe, not just the northern part, and Montgomery will likely end up in the warning very soon. Severe thunderstorm warning, that is, and the same applies to Clinton County. So there are the heavy storms in the greater Lafayette area, you see, and then there are the big storms southward towards Vedersburg, Kingman, Malott, Stone Bluff. They're exiting the Covington area now, and the worst of them are exiting Attica, and there could very well be some 1-inch diameter hail just south of Vedersburg, right there in that pocket that's headed for Waynetown. Should pass north of Waveland, may impact Crawfordsville here in just a bit, and Elmdale here shortly. We'll do a velocity look here within those storms, and I can show you the wind in these. And there it is. You can see the bright greens. Those are the intense winds. There it is. Yep, they just did it. The Weather Service, severe thunderstorm warning, the rest of Tippecanoe. Is that the rest of Tippecanoe County over here into Carroll? Did they just put a warning out? It's hard to see with these polygons. Okay, they did not. When I saw that line, I thought they'd put out the warning. I guarantee you they will very, very soon. So I'm anticipating the next move with putting out a big orange polygon right here. So when I saw that orange line, I'm like, oh, they put out the warning. They did not yet. So we'll go back here. Again, the bright greens, very strong winds surging forward. This is that 1-inch hail report we had about 45 minutes ago at Rainsville. But this is the wind, gusts 60 to 80 miles an hour. And anytime you see that green really bulging and it's really tight, you normally have more intense wind. And you can see that right here. These are very intense winds. This is US 41, Vedersburg. There's the Vedersburg exit near Fountain Central High School. And there is your wind right there. I'm going to check this weather station at Covington. From a radar standpoint, they all still look like 60 to 80 miles an hour. And we got a hail signature there too, where you see that bright white, where it says Mill Creek. It's Mill Creek Township. But right there, up there, they put a warning out right there for that part of the line. The gust was 53 just southeast of Covington. Weather station down here, a gust of 53. So right here, there could be some 1-inch hail in that, and these are some high winds. So the thinking behind drawing up this warning is that the worst of the severe, we'll broaden out here, they think the worst of the severe is going to be northern Montgomery, southeast Tippecanoe. Interestingly, far northern Tippecanoe has a severe thunderstorm warning. The city of Lafayette does not. It looks like we've got some more wind damage reports coming in. This is, looks like just north of Octagon. A 62-mile-per-hour wind gust in Round Grove, building collapsed, and that's at Badger Grove. And again, there's your warning. So the reports are slowly coming in, very slowly, and I would bet money there's a lot more going on out there than the reports we've received so far. Now, I've told you who's in the clear, who's not in the clear. Let's talk about who's in the clear. Well, here in Jasper and Newton County, you got this one last line. Now, it's not overly warm up here. The atmosphere is pretty worked over. But this is still pretty dynamic environment. I'll do a quick check of the velocity up here, just using the Chicago radar. We've got the warning for northern Newton and central and northern Jasper counties here. So yeah, some pretty intense winds maybe mixed up in this, 50, 60 miles an hour right there. Those are going to swing through here over the next 15 to 20 minutes. And looks like we have other damage reports that are coming in. This is from southern White County. Shingles and sheathing removed from a garage, numerous trees down in Chalmers, and some large trees that were downed. Large tree down in Reynolds, and then again, the other report, the 62-mile-per-hour wind gust in Round Grove. So we're still pumping out a lot of wind in the line. So 50 to 60 here, headed for Rensselaer. Moving right through the Roselawn area right now, and then moving towards Francisville and Medaryville. Okay, let's go a little farther south. We'll take another x-ray of these storms down in the Lafayette area and also around Petersburg, Attica. And you know, that storm east and southeast of Petersburg, that one looks very intense. Right here, I'll try to put a velocity. My computer is having to think. There we go. And there it is. You have very intense winds right there, right at the apex of that bow. I bet we've got gusts of 75 out of this down there. Right there where it says Kane. Near Mill Creek, we may very well have 1-inch diameter hail and winds gusting up to hurricane force as this bulges out. This is this white, very bright, light green and white color. This is racing eastward. So if you are downwind of this, here's Highway 25 that you take to go like to Waynetown, and you can take it to go up towards Odell. This is an intense area of storms. 1-inch hail and very intense wind here. So take cover as this races northeastward. Linden, Crawfordsville, intense line. Let's put a storm track on this, because what I'm trying to do is put storm tracks on every like 10 minutes, and then I'm trying to go through dissecting what's occurring every 3 minutes, and then just trying to do a radar tour, just trying to show you everything so we can track it into your neighborhood. So I'm trying not to bounce around too much, because if you start bouncing around, then it doesn't make sense and you don't know where you're going with something. So we're going to do all storm tracks right now. This is for 1-inch hail, damaging winds of up to hurricane force. That's going to move through Montgomery County. It's in eastern Fountain County right as we speak. I'm going to go ahead and put a track on this part of it right into Clinton County. There are the times of arrival. We've got Alamo in 3 minutes, Linden 6 minutes, Darlington 10, Crawfordsville 13 minutes, Clarks Hill, it's going to be about 18 minutes when it comes in, about a half an hour to Frankfort, and then we work down the line here. Kirkland, Kempton area, over a half an hour. Forest, it's about 40 minutes. It's a little more than a half an hour at Michigan Town, too. Again, hail and a lot of wind, and that hail will be wind-driven hail at that. So if you can hear me right now, say on your phone, say you're out driving and you've got me on your phone, you're listening to the Facebook Live. Right now is a time you don't want to be driving on 231 in Montgomery County or even southern Tippecanoe County, and you certainly don't want to be driving west on I-74 because this is the kind of wind that'll take a semi-trailer and tip it over. It's the kind of wind we've got in this storm, and again, a lot of hail in it too that's showing up. Okay, we've got semis tipped over on I-65 south of Rensselaer. Okay. So we already know we've got semis tipped over. This could tip some semis over, especially on a north-south oriented roadway. And when you've got big hail being driven by that wind, very intense storm. I want to go north. Again, the warning is far northern Tippecanoe and far southern Tippecanoe. It doesn't include the city of Lafayette. This part of the storm and this part of the storm, we'll wait and see if they merge and we get a warning for the heart of the county. But right now the worst is up here and the worst is down here, and we'll see if they completely miss the city of Lafayette. This could clip West Lafayette. This one's got a warning on it though. Again, northeastern Warren County, eastern Fountain County. Again, Otterman getting hit hard once again. Right there it is. This is a wind threat and perhaps a little bit of hail. So what I'm going to do is, since this line is merging with this one, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to draw this storm tracker, because all of this is kind of just moving east, northeast, where it's almost like it's training. They're gelling together and they're going to train over this area and up some tremendous rainfall. But it looks like far northern Tippecanoe and northern Carroll County still have this severe thunderstorm warning. It's just hard to track it. So just know this is all moving in this direction. It's headed for Peru. The worst is headed for Galveston. It's coming into Logansport now. It's kind of straddling Flora. It's in the Deer Creek area right now. It's just north of Delphi and near the Yeoman, the town of Yeoman. And at any point, any of this could produce winds exceeding 60 miles an hour. I can show you that. Again, I'll use a velocity tracker here real quick. And right there's your wind, these bright green areas right here. That's where we may have some pretty intense gusts with that line, plus 60 at times. Let's go northward. Oh, thank you. So Marley's in here. She's going to have some damage reports here in just a second. I'm going to get a drink of water here in just a second too. We'll kind of do one last storm track before I hand it over to Marley for a little bit. Again, there are just so many thunderstorms up here, it's hard to tell. I mean, this is just heavy rain and storms everywhere. The tornado threat is over in Pulaski County. This storm is weakening, so the threat is over. The wind threat is still there here in northern Cass and headed for Miami, of course. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning for Jasper and Newton counties. And this little line, actually, even though the atmosphere has been worked over up here quite a bit, this line, it still looks like it's putting out some pretty potent gusts. Doesn't even necessarily have a lot of lightning with it, but right there it is, and there's the warning drawn up. Pardon me, again, gusts 50 to 60 can't be ruled out as this moves back into northwest Pulaski in southeast Jasper County. So here we are, it is 10:30. We've been on air for a while. We've had tornado warnings, we've had severe thunderstorm warnings. We've got damage reports. Again, we've had gusts of 66 miles an hour in western Benton County. We had a 62 here, southern White. We had a building collapse in southern White County. We got a lot of trees down around Reynolds and Chalmers. I believe I saw some roof damage in Chalmers. While Marley reads some of the reports on air, I'm going to go ahead and look through all the wind gusts and see what other damage reports I can find. So I'm going to hand it over to Marley.
Yeah, Chad, go get a drink of water and take a moment just to rest for a second. As he mentioned, we've been going live here with this live coverage for close to 2 hours, I would say, at this point. So we have a lot of reports coming in, and we're hearing this on the scanner, also making calls on a lot of this. There was a tree reported down in Benton County in the road. We're still trying to figure out exactly where that is. We also have a report of a collapsed roof in White County. A family called, sounded like they were maybe taking shelter, so they called, and they are trying to figure out the extent of that. There was also a barn that has reportedly gone on a property in Oxford. Power is also gone in that location too. So barn is completely gone in that area. Also power is gone too. We also had some hail reported too. I think I told Chad about that earlier. That was in Otterburn, I believe it was, about dime-size hail. So reports are coming in, and we appreciate you guys calling and also sending those reports on our weather app as well. You have the ability to do that. So we want to see those pictures. We want to see those reports. We also want to continue to keep you updated on this because the storm is obviously not quite done yet. So as I mentioned, we've got a lot of reports coming in. We've got that collapsed roof in White County, still trying to get the details on that. Sounded like maybe the family was taking cover and it happened. And then also in Oxford, a barn is gone and the power is also out in that area as well. So I'm going to send it back over to Chad. I'm going to run back in, still try to get some more reports.
Yes.
As I mentioned, our viewers at home, please send us those reports so we know exactly what's going on at home in your neighborhood.
Yeah, thank you so much, Marley. Marley's been great tonight. Our crew here in the newsroom, the crew in production. We got Marley, we got Chris, we got Josh, we got Lily. We love everyone here. And we all kind of work together as a team. We track it. We get the reports from you all. And I'll tell you, nothing is better than a pair of human eyes. I can have every tool in the world here and track this, but if I can verify it with human eyes, or if you've got a weather station, that's huge. A lot of our farmers in the area have weather stations, and we use that wind data to track severe storms. Now, I'm kind of undergoing a reset right now. I've been going through some of these damage reports. We're gusting to 51 right now at the Flora Airport, and I'm trying to see what the highest gust has been. 57 miles an hour we have gusted to at the Flora Airport. We had a gust of 55 at Delphi, 55 gusts there. Again, the weather station east of Fowler is the power is out. The power is out with the station at Attica. But right now, it's interesting to view what's happening just in the past 5 minutes on the radar, because we're seeing the two lines merge, and to me that storm is almost looking supercellular. It's almost turning into a supercell. I want to dig into that. I think what I'll do is I'll start north and work myself down the line. Again, keep in mind, this line has a warning on it. Severe thunderstorm warning, gust up to 60. Rensselaer up to north of Madairyville. We had reports of some semis overturned on 65 near Rensselaer. And it looks like, I believe they put out another warning for that line. Yeah, for Pulaski and Fulton County, based on those gusts that came out of it. The thing is, the atmosphere has been worked over pretty good up here, but the dynamics are so strong close to the low that we're still pumping out severe gusts. So that's pretty amazing that we're able to do that still. So severe thunderstorm warning, Jasper, Pulaski, and now Fulton. Now I want to go southward because things are getting interesting down here. Here's the line. Heavy storm southern Cass all the way back through central Carroll County. This may have some hail mixed in it. These dark red cores. We've seen it all night. P to quarter-sized hail cannot be ruled out right here near Flora. We had the gust of 57 recently at the Flora Airport. Again, this is all moving east-northeastward. Storms may train a little bit, so we may get some flash flooding from Carroll to southern Cass to southern Miami counties. Again, the warning is for Cass and Miami counties. It looks like the warning is no longer in effect for Carroll County. Regardless, I would consider it warned. It still looks like some pretty intense gusts mixed up in this, plus 60, and again, like I said, the hail. I want to go farther south, right here in Tippecanoe County first. And you can see the storms lined up here all the way through the city of Lafayette, from Dayton and Pettit southwestward down towards towards Romney. The worst of it is over West Lafayette northwestward. Not so much the eastern part of the county. This could pulse up and produce some plus 60 mile per hour gusts at any point, or a little small hail as it moves towards Clinton County. Farther south down in Montgomery County, this storm has looks a lot like the storm that went through Benton County a little bit earlier. Again, it's gone from a line to kind of a supercell type structure. Again, we've got large hail likely here south of Linden. This could be some gusts 60 to 80 miles an hour, and we got to watch this back end of the storm. Those are the areas you got to watch for potential tornado risk here. These little pendants, like it's trying to curl around on the backside. So let's watch that very closely in the city of Crawfordsville. And again, the large hail up to $50, even golf ball sized, may occur here in northeast Montgomery County, north of Darlington. Darlington's up here. The storm is going to pass very close, if not a little farther north of Darlington. And then we got to watch that little pendant on the south side of that storm. We'll take a look at that here in just a second. Again, severe thunderstorm warning, southeast Tippecanoe and Montgomery counties. And the storms go back here into southern Fountain County, where we've got a severe thunderstorm warning. Again, some hail up to penny, nickel size, maybe mixed up in this storm as well, right around Kingman, and some gusts plus 60. So still intense storms out there. Let's talk about who's finished with them. Attica, Fowler, Oxford, Boswell, Stewart, Tabb, Rainsville. This area is done with any severe weather. Benton County, you're in good shape. Where you're not finished with severe weather is pretty much all areas from east of Brook all the way to Rochester, with that line of storms you see right above my shoulder. And then from that line of storms and this line of storms, you're still not necessarily finished any area east of 231, really from White County and Tippecanoe County all the way eastward. So those are the areas that still have the risk, whether it be from that or all this down here for severe weather. What I want to do right now, let's go ahead and take a velocity check, because it's hard to track these because these are moving east-northeast where they're training. These are going to be in Benton or in Clinton County very soon. These storms down here are already in the heart of Montgomery County, so I guess I could put a track on this little line up here. I'll do that here in just a second. I want to go through the velocity product first, though. And again, there's the line here to the north, the line of wind, gusts 50 to 60, that's prompted the severe thunderstorm warning up here. Right there it is, right along that bright green gradient, moving southeastward. And looks like we get another wind report there in northwest Cass. And maybe, yeah, Bell Center, semi-blown over on Highway 16 at 1050 west. So semis blown over, 65. We've got semis blown over on Highway 16. We've got trees down. We've got some structural damage. We had a building collapse in White County. Likely gusts, up to hurricane force, no doubt about it. We saw it on radar. It's very likely. We had gusts 60, 80 in the area. And then we'll see what kind of damage reports we get tomorrow to see if there was any tornadoes that occurred. And there's the wind as you go southward. Again, the bright reds here from these storms in Carroll and southern Cass counties, that's prompted the warnings. And then I want to go down to this storm down in Montgomery County, because this is really the big one right now that looks the worst. So we still have the high winds around Kingman, but there's the storm right in Montgomery County. Again, very strong winds. When we look at this part of the storm, I want to put the reflectivity back on. And this is the little curlicue part of the storm right here that we're watching. Again, the large hail, the wind here, we've got wind here, but this little curlicue. So I want to put my hand right there and know exactly where that is. I'm going to point right there, and then we will put the velocity product back on the screen, northeast Crawfordsville. And we can see It's not tight, but there is rotation there. Right here, this signature right here, northeast of Crawfordsville, we got to watch that. If that can really tighten up, then we'll have a tornado warning. But it's right there, very close to Darlington, right there. Again, a lot of wind here anyway in the storm, but that pocket, that little spot right there is moving in this general direction, should pass just south of Clarks Hill, head towards Thorntown. Right there it is. It is tightening up a little bit. You can see it over my shoulder. Right there, very close to the Darlington area, pretty much right over the town almost. Right in that zone. This is moving east, slightly northeastward. It's pretty much right on 47. Going to pass very close to Thorntown and Colfax, right between those two areas. We'll watch that. If that can tighten up more and more, we'll have a tornado warning. Looks like right now it's a severe thunderstorm warning. This is a very large polygon. Severe thunderstorm warning. Clinton County, northern Boone County, and it looks like this covers southern Howard County as well. What they may do is just put out the severe thunderstorm warning and then have a tag on the warning that says tornado possible, because there may be a possible brief little spin up right there with that little notch in the line, that little pocket. So let's go ahead and go back out, broaden out once again. Yeah, that is by far the most intense storm we've got in the area right now, right there, right near Darlington. And be aware of the hail, the quarter-sized hail, if not larger, maybe even half-dollar-sized hail right in that pocket, right there. So the part that's rotating is near Darlington, but the part that's got the hail, well, where's that? It's going to hit Colfax. See these pinks and dark reds? Right there, that part is going to hit Colfax with hail and all the wind. Right there. So if you're in Colfax right now, or you are near and south of Frankfort, be weather aware of intense wind and large hail, and know that we do have rotation, low-level rotation on the storm that is trying to tighten up near Darlington. So wind and hail here. Possible brief tornado at any point on this side of the storm. This looks like, I mean, it's hitting Colfax now. It's going to be very close to Clarks Hill, if not right in Clarks Hill. This is going to pass, could pass through the city of Frankfort, especially on the south and east sides of town. So hail and wind threat in Frankfort, and the little part that's rotating will pass near Thorntown and south of Frankfort. And look, and there you go. There's the tornado warning for Clinton County. That's the notch we were tracking for a possible tornado, and the Weather Service has cranked out the tornado warning. So a new tornado warning for that storm near Colfax, south of Clarks Hill, for that rotation signature near Darlington. The rotation passes here, the hail and wind pass in this zone. So we'll dig in a little tighter. Again, very close. It's probably hailing near Colfax right now, and we've got the high winds. Let's look here, and there's your rotation signature. Again, this is going to be wrapped up in wind and rain. You can't really see it, but remember what we talked about in these situations where the bright pinks and reds lock on like Tetris or like Lego. That's where you've got the potential tornado. And where is it? It's right there, a little bit here, but mainly right there, just very close to Darlington. So that's going to put it just south of Colfax. Remember, the hail and the wind are around it, but especially up here. That's where a lot of that is located, and will pass in this zone. So in the city of Frankfort right now, be aware you've got a potential tornado developing to your southwest. All areas southwest of Frankfort, be aware of that. It looks like they've gone ahead and kept the severe thunderstorm warning just north of the potential tornado track. So that includes Clarks Hill and areas just north of Frankfort. Also keep in mind the tornado warning covers Kempton, Kirkland, and Michigan Town. The severe thunderstorm warning covers the Beard area there in Clinton County, and they've drawn a large polygon because this is moving so quickly. I am going to go ahead and put a storm track on this storm. I'm just going to do the wind, the hail, and the potential tornado all at once. So we'll do that. So here are the times of arrival. We've got Thorntown, literally 2 minutes. Clarks Hill, 4 minutes. Fickle, there on I-65, or near I-65 on 28, 7 minutes. Cyclone, 13 minutes. Frankfort, we've only got 14 minutes. So if we've got a tornado brewing here, or winds 60 to 80, and some big hail, you've got 14 minutes, and that's it. It's booking. Forest, 27 minutes. Rushville, 31 minutes. And finally, over there in Tipton County at Sharpsville, 34 minutes. This rotation signature is tightening. Very tight rotation. If we've got a tornado, it is right here near Bowers, northeast of Darlington, gonna pass very close to Colfax. If you're in Colfax right now, do not be in a mobile home. You've got to be in a basement or an interior room, lowest floor of your house. These are locked in tight. So right there, that would be where the tornado is. And because the radar data updates only every few minutes, it's probably about right here, right now, for potential tornado there. I want to broaden out one more time and make sure that we're not missing any other big warnings. It looks like we've got wind damage reports. Additional wind, 56-mile-per-hour wind gusts at the White County Airport and a gust of 55 at Walton. We also have 1-inch diameter hail. We talked about the hail at Darlington, headed for Colfax. Darlington, we just had a report of 1-inch diameter hail. We've got a tree fell into a van. 7 injuries at Royal Center in northern Cass County. We certainly don't want to hear about any injuries. This just shows you it doesn't even have to be a tornado. It can just be straight line winds blowing trees down that can create injuries. And that was at Royal Center in Cass County. And you can see some of the other wind reports we've got. And there are likely a lot of other wind reports out there. There are a lot of other damage reports out there, but it's 10:47. It's nighttime. These storms are wrapped in so much rain, it's hard to get the reports in. So I guarantee you, we're going to have a lot more in the way of reports come tomorrow. And I'm going to be going through all the damage reports over the next, once this event is over. I'll go through the damage reports I get and the wind gusts. This is a new update to the storm southwest of Frankfort. Now you'll notice that the polygon color is different. It's kind of this purplish color. We have a confirmed tornado now, 11 miles southwest of Frankfort, moving northeast at 60. So this has gone from the red box to the pink and lavender box. Remember how we showed you the signature near Colfax? Well, there is now a confirmed tornado 11 miles southwest of Frankfort. So let's zoom back in on that storm. That is the most serious storm we've got in our area. Granted, we're going to get one quarter to $half sized hail, maybe golf ball size, and waveland and gusts more than 60. Intense storm. Intense storm southwest of Crawfordsville with likely wind damage. But this storm here that's headed for the Frankfort area, that's the one that's got the confirmed tornado. We still have the severe thunderstorm warnings for gusts up to 60 with this line, but there are no other warnings elsewhere in the area except Miami County for gusts exceeding 60. I want to focus on this storm now moving very close to Frankfort, where we've got the tornado warning. The tornado has been confirmed, and right there it is. It's that lavender box, and if that tornado would be very, very close to the Colfax area right now. This is passing just southeast of Colfax. That's a tornado right there. We've got a tornado on the ground southeast of Colfax. It is moving northeast. It's going to cross I-65 just north of the Boone-Clinton County line within minutes, if not already. And there's the new data updating. That is a tornado right there moving in this direction right here. There's Manson. It's going to pass just south of Manson. Again, if you are in Frankfort, you're north of Reagan. If we play our cards just right, this tornado is going to pass just south of Frankfort, but it could be a very close call. Right there it is. Again, it's locked in, very high, very tight rotation now, and that's the tornado moving in this direction. This is hail and wind up here. This tornado may be wrapped in rain, maybe a little bit of hail and all those high winds, but this sure looks like one from a radar standpoint right there, moving in this general direction. Let's put a storm track on that as it is moving into Clinton County right as we speak. I'm just going to put a storm track on the tornado signature, and we'll put it like that, and we'll put it, hopefully it is south of Frankfort. I mean, we got to give ourselves a little bit of wiggle room here. The thing about tracking, it's not always perfect. We can't pinpoint it absolutely perfectly for a distance, but we have an idea. So even it looks like the polygon was just adjusted a little bit. So here we go. This is the storm track. It's going to be at East Park 7 minutes, south side of Frankfort or in the city of Frankfort in 6 minutes, Manson here in 1 minute, Clinton Central Elementary School 12 minutes, Michigantown 13 minutes, and the hospital there 5 minutes. This potential tornado is going to be there. Right there it is. It's been confirmed, moving in this direction just like that. So if you're in Frankfort now, or you are north of Reagan in Clinton County, you need to take shelter immediately. You got to be in a basement, lowest floor of your house. You've got a little bit of time downstream. And I'll broaden out a little bit. You've got some time here in Michigantown and up towards Kempton and areas south of Beard, north of Kirkland, right in this zone. You got a little time. The city of Frankfort, you've got minutes to get to your safe place, and especially areas south of town. And let's hope this lives, but this likely tornado is probably about right here now. It's moving so quickly. It is very close to the city of Frankfort right now. Again, tornado warning continues for central and eastern Clinton County. The areas just north of that tornado warning and just south of it are under severe thunderstorm warnings for this wall of wind and even some hail swinging in from the west. I'll go back to the storm that's down south of Crawfordsville. It looks like, there could be some hail mixed up in this. I mean, again, like I've been saying all night, that's been the MO here, but mainly just a lot of wind. Winds exceeding 60 here and perhaps some dime to quarter-sized hail from what I'm seeing here. And we got the severe thunderstorm warning for southern Montgomery County. You can see right here because of that particular storm. We'll broaden out one more time. We still have the warnings for eastern Miami. Still this line racing southeastward with gusts up to 60. West of Rochester, this is headed for Lake Secret. That area's already had one round of storms. You're getting another. Headley, Burnettsville, Kiwanis area, the Mexico and the Denver areas will get in on this. Royal Center, you've already had 7 people injured when a tree fell on a van of people. Another line of storms coming into your area right now. Now, farther west, things are calming down. Pretty much all areas except southern Montgomery, all areas west of 231, it's over and you're in good shape here as of 10:53. It's areas off to the east where you have a line of storms here, and this dangerous storm down here in Clinton County, and this line of storms down here in Montgomery County. You can see how this storm is, it's a little line echo wave pattern, and where you have that little curl, that's where you get the tornado. The wind and hail are up here, the tornado is embedded in there. Let's go back in. Again, if you're just joining us, dangerous storm is now coming into central Clinton County. We've got a tornado warning on it. The Weather Service had said that it was a confirmed tornado, and that storm is very close to Frankfort right now. So let's go in tighter and look at the velocity. I'll just go ahead and turn that velocity on. Right there it is. Now the good thing is, if I had any good news, is that it's not quite as tight as it was. If you look back, that's when it was very intense, right there, southwest of Manson. And here we are, that's so close to Frankfort. That it is 10:55, and right there would be the area rotation. If we've got a tornado or a funnel cloud, it is right here, very close to the city of Frankfort as we speak. I'm going to zoom in a little tighter there. Right there it is. There's Frankfort. 421 is up here. Here's Highway 26. The airport's out that way. Again, it's not as tight as it was, but if we've got a funnel, it is right here, and this is going to pass just on the south side of Frankfort. And hopefully, if you know the tornado that was completely obvious down towards Manson and near Colfax, hopefully it has lifted and it's weakening, and we just have a funnel or we have a wall cloud here. You know, the best news I have is that it does not look as tight. If this would have been as bright as it was down here towards Manson, the alarm would be extremely high. But still, dangerous storm now moving in areas just south of Frankfort, and then moving in this general direction, going to pass on the far south side of town. You can see it right there. Again, your potential tornado is here, and this is just a lot of wind mixed up in these storms, gusting more than 60 miles an hour. So I'm gonna leave it on that shot for a moment. I want to see if I can get access to some of these wind gusts to kind of show you and kind of review what's been happening. We're gusting to 44 at Fickle right now. It's 66 degrees. We're gusting to 39 at the Frankfurt airport. We're gusting to 55 at the Crawfordsville airport right now, which is down here, way down here, southwest of town. We've kind of dodged a bullet in Greater Lafayette. I believe the peak gust from the storm at the Purdue airport was 46 miles an hour. Still a potent gust, but it wasn't 66 or 76. Okay. And we are gusting to 56 miles an hour right now at the Grissom Air Reserve Base. A gust of 43 at Logansport. So still some intense wind. I could go through all these weather stations to kind of tell you, but you get the idea of what we're dealing with here. So it looks like we've got a new update to the warning in Clinton County from the Weather Service office down in Indy. So we'll go back to that. It is a red polygon. You see that? So we've got a kind of a pink or lavender one here. They've got a red one right here. Normally, the pink means it's confirmed or it's observed. Red means we may have a tornado, or it looks like it may be one developing on radar. But regardless of whether it's a red or a pink polygon, this is an intense storm. There's your line echo wave pattern. That's one of those picturesque line echo wave patterns I've seen. This almost looks like an embedded supercell. You can see the curl. Right there is your tornado if we've got one. And it almost looks like a mini hurricane, if you will. The spokes here, the eye, and then the spokes on this side. Now what that tells me is we've got a little tiny mini low pressure here. It means the pressure has dropped right there. So we've got a little low, right? Little meso micro low here. That tells me we've had a tornado with it, the pressure's dropped, and it really does look like a little mini area low pressure. Now, there's no doubt we've got high winds in here. There's no doubt we've got some hail too. In terms of the tornado, let's take a look and see what we have here. Again, the rotation, I can see why they put the red polygon out, because that rotation is not as tight as it was. If you know, it